All right, what's going on, y'all? In this video, I am going to show you everything you need to make your wigs at home. We're going to go over everything you need for crochet wigs and wigs made with bundles, because over here I'm going to show you how to make all types of wigs, okay? Everything that I use, with the exception of a couple, are non-negotiables. These are things that you must have, in my opinion. Okay, so let's start with the wig block. You will need a wig block. I recommend using a canvas wig block where the inside is cork and not styrofoam. This will last you for a long time, and you want to get one that is the size of your head. And to get your size, you want to use a measuring tape and you measure around your head, your circumference. They come in whole and half sizes. So if you're close to 22, but not quite at 22, size down to 21 and a half. If you're close to 21 and a half, but not quite, size down to 21. The sizes that I use the most are 21 and a half, 22, and 22 and a half. So yeah, those are the sizes. So you need your wig block, measure your head. I highly recommend using a wig block that's the canvas cork wig block, because you can get these wet and they last a long time. And then I have this one that I use. I got it mainly because it's pretty. This is a styrofoam wig block, and I only use it to put my stick pins on. And I also put my needles when I'm doing sew-ins or making a wig with bundles. I put the thread on here. I like to line them up. That way I can just grab and go. To keep your wig cap secured onto your wig block, you're going to need some stick pins. You can use T-pins, but I don't recommend T-pins. I want to show you what those look like. But here are the stick pins. I love these. Well, I love these because they're hearts. Aren't those so cute? Hold on, let me focus. And you don't have to be extra. I'm just so extra, but I love these. And I love these for real, because they are long. They're extra long. And here are your standard ones. And here are the T-pins. T-pins are fine. Just be careful. Sometimes the T-pin tends to snag onto the cap, and it could snag onto the lace and it can rip your lace. If at all possible, get the stick pins or straight pins, whatever you want to call them. Get those instead of T-pins. You're going to need something to mount the wig block onto while you make your wigs, and it will come in handy also while styling your wigs and when you want your wigs to air dry after you wash them. When you order a wig block on Amazon, most of them will come with a mount similar to this. You can also find these at your local beauty supply store. I will put a picture up of how those look in the store. They're around $6 or $7, maybe less than that. And they're also on Amazon. But yeah, that is that one. These are just fine. I used this for years before I started using a regular tripod, but these are cool. You do have to latch it onto a table though. And you can use a folding table like this, or if you have a table at home, you can use, I wouldn't use it on a good table. Over time, I think it can mess your table up. I don't know. I always use a folding table. You want to make sure it's latched to your table nice and snug, because if you're not careful, it can just plop off, and that is so annoying. So yeah, you just latch it onto your table, tighten it up really good. And you do want to make sure it's on there nice and like make sure it doesn't go anywhere. You don't want it to come off while you're working because it will hit the floor. So just make sure it's on there nice and snug. And then, yeah, you can make your wig. Only thing though, when it comes to cutting and styling, the table could get in your way. I recommend cutting your wigs while it's on your head anyway. But for cutting the back, just make sure it's facing away from you and you can cut the back. Because I did not start using a tripod until I started filming content. So let me show you the one that I currently have. So I don't even think they make them as big and bulky as this one. I got this one from my local beauty supply store years ago. They have tripods that will allow you to sit down and make the wig. I can't do that with this one. This is so old and bulky. Like look, she's tired. This one gets on my nerves, but she's been getting me through for years, and so I'm going to hold on to her. Next are your caps. For crochet wigs, I recommend using the crochet wig caps. For wigs with bundles, I recommend using the mesh dome caps. There are other caps for wigs with bundles, but if you're making them by hand, which I still make my wigs by hand, handmade wigs, you want to use a mesh dome cap. So here is my favorite crochet wig cap. I have a video all about crochet wig caps. I hope they please don't stop selling these. These are so good. I also like the lace part crochet wig cap. Those are starting to get hard to find. My favorite brand of dome caps. And did y'all know these come in 3 different sizes? Yeah, but you don't have to get this brand. Like, you don't have to get anything that I'm showing. I'm just showing you what I use, but you should get it though. You should use these. You should use everything that I'm showing y'all. But yeah, so for clients who are 23, like if my client, like I have a wig that I need to make now, a V-part wig, and she's a size 23, her circumference is 23, so I'm going to use the extra large. That way she still has a bit of a stretch. So for my clients who are 21 and smaller, I use a small wig cap. So for crochet wigs, you'll need latch hooks. I am obsessed with this one. I like it because it's small. I got this from my local beauty supply store. I will put a picture of how it looks in the package. Here's your standard one that you can find anywhere. On Amazon, I have these links. You can get a pack of 5 different sizes. So that is clutch. And I will say, from this pack, none of them are the size. None of them are the size of this one. It's either too big or smaller, but that's fine. Those in this pack will definitely go through these holes. These holes are small, which is what I love. So yes, you would need latch hooks. If you are making a wig with bundles, you would need weaving thread. I prefer the nylon thread. Nylon thread is smaller and stronger, and you can go over your wefts as many times as you want and it won't get bulky. I do not recommend using this for sewing weaves. It's too small and I feel like it could possibly break your hair off. So don't use this nylon thread on your sew-ins or your sew-ins. Use the regular weaving thread. I have this because I still do sew-ins from time to time. When I make the crochet wigs and I want to have a part, I like to use brown thread to outline my part. And you can find this at your local beauty supply store as well. Most of them should have brown thread. Let me go ahead and show you the weaving needle that I love. So there's different shapes of weaving needles you can get. I prefer the C, not the jumbo. This size right here it's small, it's easy to handle, it's cool. So when I am making wigs, I like to have all of my needles lined up and ready to go. I go ahead and thread them up and I put them on this one right here. That way I can just grab and go. I don't like having to stop to rethread my needles. So yes, and get you something cute to put them in, girl. I got this from Dollar Tree years ago. It's getting a little worn out, but it's so cute. So yes, you will need like whenever you go to your local beauty supply store, just grab a couple at a time. And then eventually you'll have all you need to make your wigs. But you will need at least one. If you are only into making crochet wigs, get at least one. if you plan to make wigs with parts the way that I'll show you how to do it. And you can also use regular needle and thread. It doesn't have to be weaving needle and thread. For synthetic curly hair, I recommend using scissors. Do not use a razor. Use scissors. Got these from Amazon. They are super cute and sharp. I got them to use on my natural hair for when I do trims. We ain't even gonna talk about that. We're gonna move on. I haven't had a trim in a minute. For straight hair, I do prefer using a razor. Comb. Got this from my local beauty supply store. And then you can reuse these in case you didn't know. You can take the old ones, the old razors out and replace them with new ones. You just push that up, take it out, be careful, and then pull it back down when you want to close. And you can buy the razors. And you can put the used ones, the old ones, here in the back, which is dope. Keep yourself from getting hurt. You will need some clips. These are called alligator clips. Got these from my local beauty supply store. Some things it's best to go to your local beauty supply store and not get from Amazon. Some of those items are overpriced. Like, I would just get this from your local beauty supply store and your clips as well. To secure your wigs, for crochet wigs, combs are your best bet. I like the wire combs. I don't like the ones you have to press on your head to close. I tried those. No, ma'am, I don't like those. These are better, in my opinion. The wire combs, I guess they're called. I like these. These are good. And just make sure you secure the ends pretty good because those can kind of snag in your hair. And if you don't want to have to worry about all that, you can find the ones that have the fabric covering up the base, the part that you will stitch to the wig cap. Now, I'm not a big fan of the elastic bands, but if you really must use one, you can find a pack, a long strip of these at Walmart. And this is what I have left of what I had. I don't recommend them, but I know there are some clients of mine who like to use the elastic band. If you're making your wig by hand, you will not need to use this because you will not be sewing through the elastic on the cap. But over time, the wig it'll loosen up and you'll need to use something to secure the wig on your head. They have wig grips for that. Not a big fan of these. I feel like over time, they can thin out your edges. For human hair, when you're styling or resetting the curls or waves, a continuous spray bottle is everything. If you do not have a continuous spray bottle, girl, why not? So as far as products, I don't use a lot of products on my wigs. For crochet wigs, I'm only using the Hawaiian Silky. I use that before I even touch the hair after I've made it. I like to put this on my hands. And it's so good. I almost want to use it on my natural hair. It says no drip active. Girl, this is Jerry Curl Juice. No drip activator, moisturizes hair, defines curls, softens hair, adds shine. Girl, it's everything. Human hair, while the hair is wet, I will use this to smooth out the lace, let it air dry, and I also use this to set the curls. When I make lace wigs for clients and they want me to cut the lace, I like to use a eyebrow razor. Is that what these are called, child? Yeah, I use one of these. You can use scissors also, but this will give it won't be as defined. You don't want the lace to be super defined and straight when you cut it. So this is helpful for that. Do they still sell these? This is my go-to comb. When I curl wigs, I don't comb the curls out. I pull them apart with my hands. I just rake the hair with my hands, with my fingers. When I am making curly wigs, I do like to detangle with a comb with a brush. I'll show y'all what that looks like. And I'll just clump the curls together with my fingers. I use my fingers. If you make crochet wigs, this is everything. So this is my new friend. I am obsessed with this. This saves so much space. If you like to prep your crochet hair before you start installing it onto your cap, this will save you so much time. You can put hair on both sides. Both sides. It's everything. Before, I would put the hair on this table, but now I put it right here. I don't have to have this table out taking up space. Since I film, I need all the space for that with my ring light and my tripod. But this is everything. I highly recommend this. And you don't have to use it, but it will. If you're going to be making crochet wigs like that, you will need this. You will need it. It will change your whole crochet wig making experience. Love that. If you would like to order a custom wig or if you would like to learn how to make your own, all of the links will be linked below. I'll see y'all in the next one.